Hey everyone, it's Air Force Proud 95. Right now I'm on Flight Simulator X and I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial on how to carry out VOR triangulation. VOR triangulation is a simple technique that can be used in flight to help you determine your position without the use of a GPS or any type of electronic map. The useful thing about this technique is that the only thing that it requires is a sectional chart be on board, and also that the aircraft has a VOR receiver, which most aircraft have two of anyways. Another useful thing about VOR triangulation is that it doesn't require GPS, and it also doesn't require DME, which is distance measuring equipment. Most aircraft nowadays are equipped with DME, and in fact most are even equipped with GPS, but neither one of these are required. It's a very helpful and useful technique that can be used pretty much in any situation in flight, especially during emergencies, say whether an electronic device stops working or an aircraft isn't GPS equipped and they find themselves lost. This technique can always help them pinpoint their location and get back on track. Currently, I'm at the Pompano Beach Air Park in Pompano Beach, Florida. I'm going to be departing and flying northwest over the Everglades, and I'm going to simulate that we get lost in flight and that we end up having to use VOR triangulation to figure out where we are and get us back on course. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so here we are looking at a Miami sectional chart. I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of basically what we're going to be doing during this flight and where we're going to simulate that we become lost and that we need VOR triangulation. Hopefully you can see everything somewhat. I'm going to be pointing it out a little bit. But we're going to start our flight down here in the bottom right corner at Pompano Beach Air Park. We're going to depart northwest as if we're going to be flying to an airport that's out over in this area. Now we're going to simulate that we become lost right out in this area over the Everglades. As you can see on the sectional chart, there's no IFR nav aids that can directly be used. There's no VORs or NDBs anywhere in this area. There's only visual landmarks on the ground. So this is a typical location that an aircraft that is not GPS equipped might become lost, just for this reason. So once we require VOR triangulation in this area, we're going to be using reference to the Palm Beach VOR, which is on 115.70, and we're going to be using the Pahokee VOR up here. I know it's a little bit harder to see, which is 115.40. This is another important thing about VOR triangulation, is that you must be within range of at least two VORs or a VOR and an NDB if two VORs aren't available. But we are in range in this location. The range is usually about, for general aviation aircraft, maybe around 5,000 feet cruising altitude. It's usually, I believe, like 40 miles outbound. Could be a little bit more, but it depends on the signal strength of the VOR. So once we become lost, we're going to tune these two VORs and we're going to find our bearing from these stations. And once we figure out our bearing, we're going to draw the radial that we're outbound from the station on. And as you can see here, this was actually from a different time. We can see it a little bit. But there's the line outbound from the Pahokee VOR and the line outbound from the Palm Beach VOR. And where those two lines intersect is roughly going to be where our aircraft is located, and from that point we can figure out our bearing, either continue on the flight plan, or if it's a more serious situation we can redirect to a different airport. Alright, so right now we're departing runway 10 of Pompano Beach. We're going to be turning left northwest bound after departure here shortly. But we're actually flying this Piper Tomahawk with the bare minimum equipment on board because we don't have GPS and we actually don't have DME, and we only have one VOR receiver on board. So this is really not the aircraft that you would want to become lost in at any time during flight. But with VOR triangulation, even with the minimum equipment we have on board, we still can figure out our location in the event that we do become lost. Now, as you can see, we're actually flying during a clear day, so usually we would be able to use visual landmarks to help us determine our position, but just for this demonstration, I'm going to be using the instrument panel purely for VOR triangulation to figure out where we are and get us back on course. Alright, we've now reached the point in our flight where we're going to simulate that we've become lost. As you can see, the top-down view, we're kind of out over the area with a bunch of fields and the sort of grassy, marshy area where there's not many references available to us that we can use to figure out our location, other than the coastline, but that extends all the way up the coast of Florida, so that's not that much help to us. So now that we don't know where we are, we've become lost. The first thing that we're going to do is tune the VOR frequencies in our nav1 selector. And now I have right here is 115.7 is the Palm Beach VOR, and 115.4 is the Pahokee VOR. Now we're tuned to 115.7 for Palm Beach, and we are receiving the VOR station. So we're going to turn our compass until we can get that line vertical, straight up and down, and it's going a little bit back and forth, and we get it right about here. I'm going to pause it just for a second so we can see that we are just a little bit more than on the 060 radial from Palm Beach. Well, actually 0602 Palm Beach, and we're about 245 radial from Palm Beach. So we're going to look at our sectional chart in just a minute, and we're going to draw that line. So we'll remember 245 from Palm Beach, and I'll unpause it now, and we'll switch our nav1 frequency to the Pahokee VOR, and we're going to turn this dial again, and we want to make that line vertical so we can find our position. And we are in range of Pahokee VOR, and right about here I'm going to pause it again. It looks like we're just about 315 radial to the Pahokee VOR. So we're going to look at our sectional chart, draw lines outbound or on the radials from both stations, and where those lines intersect we can find our location. Alright, so we're back here at the sectional chart, acting as if we're looking at the sectional chart in flight. Now we're just out in this area, as you saw in the top-down view, and we received our bearing from both locations. So at this point in time we can just use any type of straight edge, and just for the example I'm going to use an index card because we have the radials provided to us on the sectional chart. So from Palm Beach it was 245 degrees, 245 radial from Palm Beach. So when I'm going to zoom in here to the Palm Beach VOR. So when we look for 245, we have 270 is out here, and we'll do 26, 25, 24. So right in between. We'll put the index card down there, and we have our first bearing from this station. So we can just draw a line. Let's draw a light line right out in this area. And that's our first indication of where we may be, is right here. Now we'll look at the Pahokee VOR, and we also have the radios provided for us there. Now it was 315 to Pahokee, so we'll go 300s up here, 31, 32, right in between there. Put the straight edge down there, and we can draw a line, follow it out. Just a little bit farther out, right out here. So this is where we are located in flight. It's right in this location. Now from there, we see that we have several airports around us if we need to redirect, or if we want to continue on our flight plan and we're able to regain our course, we can do that and continue on northwestbound to our further waypoints. Alright, so because we used VOR triangulation, we were able to regain our bearing of where we were in flight and continue on our flight plan. Even though we didn't have GPS or DME on board, we figured out our location and were able to successfully arrive at our destination airport, in this case the Everglades Airport. I'd like to thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope this helped. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.